Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Chanel, the owner of 3 Balls Handmade Soaps and More. And if you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for stopping back by. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys this beautiful wood grain soap that I did. So stick around and let's get started. Okay guys, so as always, right here, I have everything laid out that we're going to need. What I don't have is a washcloth or a towel. So make sure you get you one of those to prop up your mold. Alright, so right here, this is pretty much me just measuring out all of my oils and butters. And if you're new to my channel, I use a lot of different containers. In the event that I mess up, it's a lot easier to correct. I decided to bring you guys along outside, and this is me. Yes, I mix up my sodium hydroxide and my water outside. That's my well ventilated area. But yeah, so I decided to bring you guys along. And when you're dealing with this stuff, be sure that you have on the proper equipment: your eyewear, your gloves, long sleeve pants, closed toe shoes, you name it. Just suit up, and like I said, be in a well ventilated area. And you want to slowly add your sodium hydroxide into your water. Never water into the sodium hydroxide. And you're going to stir that. Well, I like to stir mine until it becomes clear, as you can see right here. And then I let it sit outside a little bit more, just so that way, you know, get some of those fumes up off of there before I bring it back inside. Okay, so now that everything has been cooled down to room temp, you want to go ahead and add your water lye solution into your oils and butters. And then you just stick blend that until you get everything blended together. Alright, so now that I have everything blended together, I went ahead and separated my batch into 3 different containers because I'm using 3 different colors. I used turmeric because I was going for like a light brown, and I did activated charcoal because I wanted a gray and a black. So, and that's what you see me doing right here. It's pretty much just adding, you know, those different powders to the 3 different containers that I separated. And I will say this, like, I started out using the spatula to stir this up, and then I grabbed my stick blender. But keep in mind that using that stick blender, of course, will cause it to thicken up to thicken up a lot faster than, you know, just using your spatula. And you don't need this to be thick at all. So just keep that in mind. That's why I stopped using the stick blender and went right back to the spatula. Okay, so we have all of our powders blended in with the colors. We got our 3 colors that we're going to work with. And right here I have the washcloth. This is the washcloth that I mentioned earlier. And I wish I would have turned my camera at a different angle, you guys. But I was trying to do a TikTok video and do a YouTube video, record this video. So I do apologize. My phone was the one that was sitting at the angle. But so you want to make sure that that soap mold is not flat. You don't need it flat right now. You need that to be like tilted at an angle facing you, so that way you can pour down the side and let it run into the mold that way. All right, so I don't know if y'all can tell or not, but y'all, I was like highly, like, I don't know if you can tell by my hand gestures, but I was highly like intimidated. I was so afraid to start pouring this into to start mixing these colors together. And I guess it was because it was my 3rd time doing it, and I just did not want to mess it up. The first 2 times was just complete, like, it was just a complete disaster. And I will show y'all the other 2 times. I will show you the soaps from that. But so right here, I finally just stepped out on faith and just combine the colors together. And as you can see, some of them kind of, the gray and the black kind of like went through there a little bit. And I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to roll with it. I mean, at this point, it is what it is. How it turns out is how it turns out. So now that I have my colors mixed in, here goes nothing, you guys. Like, I was like, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. So you just pour along the side, and it's supposed to push over. So yeah, you just keep going back and forth. And I will say this right here is what I learned, trial and error. You do not want to go slow. If you go slow, your lines will be thick, which I would show you a bar. When I went slow, my very first one. So be mindful of that. Do not go slow. You don't want to go like slow, and you don't want to like go at 100 miles per hour either. So you kind of like got to go in between. And if you have essential oils in your batch, keep in mind that, that right there, like I said before, is going to cause your soap batter, essential oils or any other additives, is going to cause your soap batter to thicken a lot faster. That's why it's really, really important that you do this at room temperature. And I do apologize, you guys, about my camera going blurry here and there. I was trying to focus. I was so focused on like not messing up, so I had done just about zoned out. Like the camera wasn't even on my mind, because I wasn't looking through the lens at the soap. Like I was actually focusing on not messing up, because like I said, this is like my third attempt and I didn't want to get it wrong again. So I do apologize about the blue glove and the blurriness from time to time from my camera trying to focus. So right here, I'm just pretty much refilling my container again with my colors. And I try to keep them, go down one side and go down the other side. That way when it's going into the soap mold, my colors will still come out, separated, like the three different colors. So that's what you see me doing right now. And you want to, once you get back in, once you start pouring again, you want to pour on the same side. And you want to continue to pour until you reach, until you just cannot pour no more. And once you get to that point, you will adjust the either towel or the washcloth, whatever you have that's helping your soap mold stay at an angle. So that's what you're going to see me do right now. Like I literally cannot go anymore on this side that I was working on. And y'all look at that grain effect real quick. But so yeah, I'm just readjusting my washcloth, and I'm going to slowly ease that down onto the washcloth. You don't want to just drop it down, let it flop down, none of that. So just let it down slowly, and then go back to working on the side that you was on, because you need it to push over. Like don't skip and go to the other side. You need to stay on that side that you're on, because it needs to push over. So now that I have made it to the top again of my soap mold and I can't go any further, I remove the washcloth completely and I ease it all the way down flat. And I noticed that it was like really starting to like get a lot harder to push over. Like my soap wasn't pushing over as easy as it was, in the beginning. And that's because, of course, it was starting to thicken up with the essential oils in there, and the activated charcoal that I had in there for the color. So that right there I could tell that it was starting to thicken up and get a lot harder to push. So, and I was starting to panic. I'm not even gonna sit here and tell y'all no fib. I was panicking, and that's why I got the container all in the camera. I'm just like, oh my goodness, I gotta get this in here, and I got to get it in here now, because as you can see, looking in my container, I still got a good little ways to go. So it was at this very moment that I was just like stressed and in panic mode. As you can see, I got soap dripping all over my top here, all over the countertop, my stainless steel table. Soap was just everywhere, and I was just like, I have got to finish this out. Like, and I'm just going back and forth. I stayed going the same direction or whatever, and just doing the little knots and stuff. And at this point, it was like really, really starting to thicken up on me. You see, I'm having to use my scraper to get it out the bottom. But I mean, I just kept going and it wasn't even pushing anymore. At this point, the pushing over part was just done. That was over with. So I was having to scrape it out, and that's why you see the top kind of looking like this. But I'm not really worried about the top because once I cut it, the top won't be the top, if that makes sense. So now that I have everything in the container, thank God, I'm just giving it a little jiggle so that way I can get whatever air bubbles that might be in there out. And once I did that, I wiped off the edges and pretty much covered it up. Well, before I covered it up, I wanted to bring you guys in a little bit closer so that way you can look at this beauty up close. Y'all look at this. Isn't that just, I'm just amazed by it. It is the next day and voila! Look at there, guys. Yes, we have a small crack in there, but that is completely fine because again, the top is not going to be the top. Okay? So right here, I'm just unmolding this loaf. Try to be very careful with it. Just taking it out, and look at there, guys. And you can see where, remember when I said that it was starting to thicken up on me? You can kind of see that like near where my thumb part is. If you look closely, you see the little, like the little spaces in there. That's from when it was like starting to thicken up on me, but it's cool. I still managed to put it all in there, so that's all that counts. And here's the sides. I don't think I showed you guys the sides. So how we're gonna cut this is we're gonna do this in a little bit differently. I might have to reposition the camera or something. But let me see. Now, the way that I am going to cut this is I'm just going to almost like freehand it, kind of, sort of. I know the length that I want my bars to be. I want to cut them at least like, I know I don't want just no little 2 inches. I don't think. I don't want that. So I'm going to cut mine every 3 inches. Better. I'm probably going to have to move you guys over to this side so that I can see what I'm doing. Okay, so we measure this out. Okay, so these are my 3 cuts, and now I'm going to just line this up and my cutter, and since I have my 3 cuts, I'm just lining this up in my cutter to guide me down. Now, and when you cut it that way, that's what you have, but you don't want it to look like this. We need to cut it this way. So I'm gonna, y'all will see what I do in a sec. We're gonna flip it around and then okay. So, and again, this is not how we want this to be. And it smells so good, y'all. This soap smells really good. Okay, so This right here is going to be our little, we'll do something with that bar. So now that we have it cut into our 3 sections, now we're going to turn it the way that we want it to go. And we're going to cut like this. So I'm trying to think how thick I want my bars. Do I want them to be thick? We're not going to make them thick. I don't think we're going to do them thick. No. Because these bars will be a part of our Father's Day gift set. Ooh. Okay. So since these are going to be a part of our Father's Day gift sets, we're not doing these thick. Not bad, not bad. Not bad at all. Alright, now again, you don't wanna cut it this way. Remember the loaf was long. We want to cut it. Remember the loaf was like this. This is how we would normally cut. But we're gonna turn it this way because we want to go for that wood grain look. So while I'm cutting this up, I just want to touch bases on like a few things. So again, like I said, y'all, this soap right here was like by far one of the most challenging soaps that I've ever done. I don't know why. Like I said, it took me 3 times to get it to this point, and I'm very pleased with the way that it turned out here, like compared to the other 2 times, which I will show you guys some. You're gonna see that in a sec. But so I'm very pleased with that. And what I have learned through trial and error is definitely you need to be at room temperature with this. Just keep in mind that like when you're pouring, you need to don't go slow. You do not want to go slow. You don't want to go fast. You want to just go like at a steady pace. That way your lines, if you go slow, you're going to end up with like thick lines. And if your batter is starting to thicken up on, you're going to also end up with like thick lines. And keep in mind that the more additives and essential oils and, fragrances or whatever, if that's what you use, that right there will cause your batter to thicken up pretty quickly as well. So keep those things in mind. And also someone asked me in a previous video about my soap stamp size. So if those of you that are wondering, my soap stamp size is 2 inches by 1.7 inches. Again, that's 2 inches by 1.7 inches. And it literally covers, y'all see what size soap molds I use. So, and I mean, it fits perfect, on my soap. So that's the size of that. If those of you that are wondering, I did answer her in the comments, but I figured that I would mention it again in this video in the event that somebody else was curious as well. Oh, and I almost forgot. Remember, when you're pouring into your soap mold, you want it to be at an angle and you're going down the side. Okay, so y'all, this right here was the first time I attempted the wood grain soap. Do y'all see this mess? Like, seriously, it just looked horrible. And then this was the second time I tried it. Like, it didn't look as bad as the first time, but I mean, they both just look terrible compared to now. So like the brown and white one pretty much just looks like spoiled meat. And then I don't know what the other one looked like, but I'm glad that I did not give up and I decided to go at it again because I'm very pleased with the way that this other one turned out compared to this last one turned out compared to the other 2. And y'all see how thick those lines are? It was just a mess. So that's pretty much it, you guys. This is the final look. I'm so pleased with this. And if you enjoyed this video, definitely leave us a thumbs up. And if you are not a subscriber, please consider subscribing. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.